Welcome to Small Business Saturday.
Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Aaron Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome in to Small Business Saturdays. My name's Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at aaronmontgomery.info or up here at my email address if that's not behind the live stuff. It probably is right now, and I still haven't had a chance to change that. So we'll be working on that as soon as the holiday craziness is over here. So last week, the Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, all that stuff was in full scale onslaught. So we took a little quick break from Small Business Saturdays to get focused on that. Lots of stuff going on, and we're going to talk about that kind of thing today here. And hopefully everybody is recovered from the big meal and all of the fun stuff, and that you guys had a very fantastic Cyber Monday, Black Friday. So tell me what specials and what things you guys ran, and what was the most successful and all of that fun stuff. So looking forward to hearing from you guys as we tune in here this morning. And in fact, Todd said sleep. What's that? Yeah, because we are starting about 2 hours later than normal today. When I went to bed at 2 last night, I knew that we needed a little extra time. So I appreciate you guys tuning in a little bit later for me here today. And in fact, excuse me, Mary said, okay, I thought I was going crazy, but yes, sleep is good and necessary. It definitely is. Obviously, you got to find the right times to do that here. So, all right, well, let's, you guys want to dive in if everybody's ready here. So today we're going to talk about being our business, and it's a kind of a weird thing to say, I guess. And I don't know, I was trying to be creative with, be the ball or whatever, something along those lines, for like golfers, be the ball, see it, visualize, all that kind of stuff. But what we're talking about here today is be the business, make it part of who you are. And so we're going to explain a lot more about that here in just a moment, but just want to make sure that I kind of covered that. So what I've discovered is that successful people, regardless of whether they're small business people, have careers, whatever, the ones that I've talked to and the ones I've read about and the people that I'm trying to emulate myself are the people that are fully invested in what they're doing. And that doesn't mean that they're like workaholics or anything like that. It's just that they're fully invested in that. But they're also fully invested in every aspect of their lives, and they are able to prioritize and have all of it together at the same time. But it's fully invested. Mr. Miyagi, Todd, I don't quite understand that one, so you'll have to help me out. But I'm a little slow on the uptake this morning, so you bear with me. So small business owners are folks that are going to have the biggest challenge with these things because they're typically stretched way thin. So the CEO of a major company, yes, he might be fully invested in his company, but he probably has lots of resources, lots of help, lots of other things that he's able to take advantage of. Whereas a small business, you're everything. You're the janitor, you're the customer service, you're the production, you're the purchasing department, you're the HR, legal, the whole thing. You get to be all of those things. So you feel like you're getting spread a little bit too thin. But what I'm saying is that the successful people, they make it a part of who they are. So it becomes one big whole piece of you. It's just as big as part of their life as maybe their kids and their hobbies and the other things that you do, because it's going to give you the ability to focus more on your kids, your hobbies, the fun things as you grow and become successful with it. but you have to be fully invested in it. It has to be part of who you are. It has to be a big part of everything that you do. Otherwise, you won't give it enough to be successful. So, the successful people that I've seen, read about, want to emulate, they are fully invested. They look at what they can do to build, quote unquote, career capital. They be their business, their job, and they do things that will help them grow long term. They're making choices, they're spending time, they're putting in the extra effort to get better today so tomorrow is easier. So in kind of telling this story, I guess the first thing that I want to do is I want to dispel a pretty common myth. And to me, that myth, and I've read a lot about this stuff, so I can't take full credit for this, but there's lots of folks that talk about this. But work-life balance, I think we've heard a lot about that. And maybe as a small business owner, you hear a lot about, that, or you think about that, I need to make sure that I'm balancing my life and all that stuff. Well, honestly, work-life balance is just a myth, because balance would indicate that you sleep for 8 hours, you work for 8 hours, and then you do everything else in your life in the other 8 hours, or you break it down even further. You're 4, 4, 4, 4, all that kind of fun stuff. But that's just not the case. It's just not how life works. You're going to have days where your business is going to require 10, 12, 15, 16 hours of your attention. And, I'm going through a little bit of that right now with my work that I do with the consulting business that I have. My main consulting client, Pick the Gift, is in the middle of their holiday rush, and I'm fully committed to them. I am fully invested in what it is that they're doing with Pick the Gift. And because of that, it's been 7 days a week since about November 12th. The day after the Digital Marketing Superhero webinar. And, yesterday was about a 15-hour day. So it just, those things happen. You have to get while the getting's good, so to speak. But then there's other days where for example, the Digital Marketing Superhero Day, I didn't have a lot that I did on that part of my life that day. I focused on the webinar instead. And there's days where I'll focus on my family, making significant choices. So, it's been a wild one, Will, this year. So, in fact, if anybody's looking for some fun and would like to come pack some blankets in the St. Louis area, come on down. I'll give you the address. Just shoot me a direct message. So, anyways, all right. So back to what we're talking about. So again, there's no such thing as work-life balance in that sense. So what you have to do instead is you have to take a look at the things that you're doing each and every day. How do these things impact my future self? So it's making decisions about priorities. So, maybe one of your things that you end up kind of doing is spending time on Facebook. And while, yes, that is important to do from a marketing perspective, to interact, to be social, to be part of the communities that are valuable for you, it also means that you have to do your best to schedule that, find the right time to do that. Todd's a great example of this. I know he is very specific about, okay, this time is when I do this time is when I do this, and doing those things. So you have to look at the priorities. So most of us will take our to-do list if we're the to-do list kind of folks, and hopefully as a small business owner you are, because having things in writing is important. I'll just remember that. I'll just remember to do the thing here. Trust me, as a small business owner, you will not remember to do that, and you'll go, oh crap, I forgot to do that, and then you'll go, man, nah. So anyhow, what you need to do is have a to-do list, but that to-do list needs to be prioritized is the first way that most of us look at it. But then you need to take your to-do list and go one step further with it. And you need to take that to-do list and divide it up into what is the significance of this task to my long-term self? So if I do this today, what could that potentially reap a year from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now? Will me putting my effort into this task right here, right now, today, help me down the road? Does it improve my integrity because I do something that I said that I'm going to do? Does it allow me to get more customers because I'm posting lots of times on Facebook to get the interaction and the things that I need to do? Looking at that kind of a way of going about this, that's how you fully invest and yet still get everything in. Now, again, I am kind of talking to myself, and I know that those of you that have tuned in for a long time to Small Business Saturdays understand that a big chunk of what Small Business Saturdays is for me is a way to talk about the things that I need in my life too, and to then solicit feedback from you guys. So again, tell me what you guys do to manage your time to be able to make the most important, significant impact in your life, and still get everything done. So one of the books that I have read recently that I really enjoyed, and I've talked a lot about Rory Vaden in his Take the Stairs book. Well, he also has another book called Procrastinate on Purpose. And you think about the title of that and you're like, yikes, that sounds like, I'm just going to do nothing. Well, it's actually the opposite of that. And he talks about the seasons and, how you make significant calculations, opportunity calculations. So, instead of thinking about, is this a $5 coffee? Well, what's that $5 able to do for me down the road if I'm investing that at a rate of return? So maybe that $5 coffee actually costs me $55 in opportunity costs. So thinking about those things, what is binge watching Netflix all night going to do for me tomorrow? What is binge watching The Blacklist? That's what I've done in the past. And for whatever reason, that show sucks me in. If you haven't seen it, don't go get sucked in, but it's a great show. So he talks about, Rory Vaden talks about a saying that he has called double time, part time for full time, free time. And it sounds a little weird, but basically what it means is get after it, hustle right now, today, really hard. Because if you do that and you make that a priority, and that priority is something that's going to get you down the road, then you'll have free time later on. So kind of get to work. He talks about, seasons. So you think about a farmer, for example. A farmer would go and, they're not going to just find whatever time fits into their schedule to go and sow the seeds or to harvest the crops. There's a specific season that they have to do that in. Same thing goes for your small business. You have a specific season that you have to think about, and that you have to make some sacrifices. You have to do some things. So, if your busy time is this time of year, then you have to start making some sacrifices. You have to start thinking about ways to achieve all of your goals and still be part of your family life. So let's see here. I've got a couple of comments that I want to get to. This is just fun. Yes, Will, I do need a cloning machine, but I'm not sure we want a bunch of Aarons running around. So I'll find somebody, maybe we'll clone some Wills and Todds and Julias and those of you checking in today. And then Todd says, yeah, just check my schedule. He can be there in 19 days. Yes, that'll be perfect. I will be probably drinking some Captain and Cokes at that point, maybe, but and Julia, good morning. Thank you. Okay, so Julia, here's the one I wanted to get to here. Julia says, I work from home, so I have been trying to stick with only working while my kids are at school so that I give them attention when they're home. I also take breaks from working when I need to think through a design and go do one housework task while I think. And Julia, I think that is a fantastic idea. I wrote a blog about, kind of working from home and, making it hey, okay, I'm going to work. That's one of the reasons why I love this location that I'm at here. It's a co-working space. I don't necessarily need it anymore. I could do this from home. Everything's good, but it's that opportunity to, okay, it's time to go to work. I need to go and, shower and get refreshed and focused and all that stuff. And I know when I'm in here, it's let's get after it. Let's work. This is what I'm doing right here, right now. But it's also important, Julia, to give yourself a little bit of, it's okay to maybe work a little bit extra, and obviously sticking with working only while the kids are at school is great. But if you have an opportunity to grow your business right now, today, and that means that maybe you have to get a little help somehow, some way with the kids, or, you got to do that, take advantage of that opportunity. I know my friend Terry Combs always says that being an entrepreneur gives you the right to work every hour of every day. It also gives you the right to, take off during the middle of the day and go do something at the kids' school or something like that. It gives you those rights, but you have to make the significance decision, the calculation in your head as to whether or not you are able to do that, and whether or not by doing that, is that going to push me forward? Is that going to get me more free time with my kids and things like that? So, yes, I think that you're perfectly on the right track there, Julia, sticking to those things and being that, but then also occasionally giving yourself the, okay, I need to actually make this a priority right now. Hey, other folks in my life, can I get help? Can you help me with this so I can do this? And explain to them why. Explain to the people that you're asking help of why you need to do this right now and what that will do in the future for your community, for you, your family, all of those things. So, in fact, that leads me right into my next story. Yep, that's perfect, Julia. Yeah, this time of year I do work beyond that, and I tell them there are sacrifices on all our parts when have a big job or a deadline. Hey, absolutely. And that in fact, I'll tell my story still, but you pretty much hit the nail on the head right there. That sacrifices are going to be made, and what you're doing though is you're telling them, you're communicating with them, and that is the key. So real quick, I mentioned it already, but this time of year is the season for the personalized gift business, especially when you're a wholesale gift provider. Right now, Pick the Gift has about 18,000 open orders. In fact, I need to hustle there in about 10 minutes. So, it's that time of year. And so what's happened is putting in the effort, I'm making sacrifices in different areas, and my family, I'm very blessed and I'm very fortunate that my wife is making sure that the kiddo gets to school and everything's going on, because there's lots of stuff going on for them around the holiday season too. They've got breakfast with Santas. They've got, and I hate missing out on some of that stuff. But right now, today, this is the season. So by putting in this effort, that will lead me to a point where next year, maybe I don't have to put in this much effort because I'm able to build things. I'm able to do things. We're able to make changes and do things the right way so we can get beyond this kind of thing. Again, it does mean that you've got to have a team, and that team doesn't mean you have to pay for, a secretary or anything like that. It means that you have to communicate with the other people in your life, and you have to sit down and have those hard conversations. My wife and I have spent hours talking to each other and trying to figure out, she's balancing her brand new business at the same time too. And she's doing things that, she's got to do. She's been fantastic keeping everything going, all while trying to keep her business running. And she's putting in hours with me at the office. Yesterday at about 6:00, her and her friend came down to Pick the Gift and helped out until about midnight last night. And my son was there running around playing. That's what happens. A lot of the folks at Pick the Gift, we've got families there. The other people involved, their families have been there. It's the season. It's what you do. It's being the business. It's making those sacrifices, but knowing that those sacrifices are going to lead you to where you want to go, to your goals. All right. So there's the story. But I want to get into what be the business means a little bit deeper. So I think we've all got it. You sacrifice, you do the things you need to do. I'm missing kids with Santa today, so he's coming to visit me. Perfect, Todd. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. You know, you're doing those things. But when we talk about being the business, you know, again, I want you to not separate it. I want it to just be part of who you are. You know, it's your family. Maybe your business is also your family. The people that you work with are your extended family. I've had people at Pick the Gift tell me, you know, this is my family. You know, so this is my second family. You know, make it be part of your personal activities. Do not put your business into a silo. Don't have it be, you know, this part of me here, this part of me here, this part of me here. You are one person, one community, one whole. You guys are part of my family. This is important to me. This is significant to me because I get so much from being able to be part of this community that I know that putting in the time to try to do this nearly every week is important because it helps me. It helps you guys. It builds a community, you know, so it's all part of what it is that I do. It's all part of me. Be confident in what you're doing. Be proud of the work that you're doing, even if you're just getting started and you don't feel like you've done a whole lot yet. Well, guess what? You've decided to become a business owner. So right there is a huge step. Just by making that decision, that took a lot of guts. That took courage. Be proud of that. Share that from the mountaintops. You know, make that be part of who you are. When you're out there, be proud of the things that you're doing. And then from there, the kind of more nuts and bolts part of this is the best way I found to make my small business a part of who I am is like, I've got to talk about it. And part of that, you know, if you put it down into something specific, coming up with the elevator pitch. When somebody asks you what you do, what do you tell them? You know, do you say, well, I do accounting, I do production, I make this, I do customer service. No, you tell them I'm a decorator. I put bling on shirts. I am a designer. But make that pitch a little bit more. Make that pitch a little bit more all-encompassing of who you are. And in just saying that right now, I just was looking at mine and I said, crap, I need to expand mine because mine's only about my work at this point. So, but that's what this is all about. You need to get feedback. You need to say it over and over again, and you need to keep refining what your pitch is. The best way to refine it, though, is to say it to people and then tweak it based on the feedback you get from those you share it with, because they're going to ask you, oh, okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, well, now I know I need to fix that part because it doesn't come across clearly. So make it become something that you can just easily say off the top of your head. Again, I'm evolving and changing right now, so I'm still trying to work on mine. So I've got it written down, so I will read it first, and we'll see how it goes. And Todd, in fact, has a fantastic idea, and this is super hard because I do feel silly every time I do this. And it says, it may sound silly, but practice in a mirror. You eventually will get it. Absolutely. And that's a great reminder because I don't do that enough because I do feel silly doing it, but I need to do it and I'm going to do it. So there we go. All right. So here's mine. I'm a transformational consultant for micro businesses. I get to be a part of their success through business planning and personal growth education. I'm blessed to get to work with t-shirt printers, people that make personalized gifts and promotional products through education. That's live videos, podcasts, webinars, classes, and live events. So that's who I am. But then I started realizing, well, that's not all of who I am. I need to get it out of a silo. And that's what we're talking about. That's how we're growing together and we're doing these things together. So I need to figure out how to, I'm also a super proud father. I'm a extremely lucky husband. I am a son, a brother, a friend, hopefully a mentor. These are the things that I want to be. So it's important that we figure out how to incorporate all those things together. All right. So what got me started thinking about being the business and wanting to talk about this today is, how do we take advantage of that fact? How do we take advantage of making the business a part of our lives? So to me, the way that you take advantage of this is, once you start being your business, once you start making it something that you're thinking about at all times as part of your entire self, it's going to lead you to more leads, more connections, more potential customers. And the way it's going to do that is, you're going to be more actively talking about it. And maybe that's on Facebook. Maybe you're posting to your personal page about your business, which is totally fine, as long as you're not pitching or, saying, just always selling on your personal page. What you need to be doing is, you need to be talking about it. You need to be asking questions. You need to be engaging people with conversations about what you're doing in your business. It's just the same as you would, posting pictures of your vacation, or posting pictures of family time, or post pictures of food, or like my friend Terry Combs posting pictures of an airplane wing or a cocktail. All of those things, you need to be talking about your business at the same time, and having those interactions. Or maybe you've got a day job. Well, you should be talking to your coworkers at your day job about what you're doing on the side. What's your side hustle? What are you trying to do? What are your goals? Because you never know. They might have a relative that needs what you sell, and they could become your biggest customer. But if you didn't talk about it, if you didn't make it part of your daily conversation, you will never make those connections. So, and a lot of times, some of the best feedback we can get is from people completely outside of what we do. We might get blinders on and go, I think that this is the way things are. But once you find somebody who stands up and says, hey, here's what I see, and is willing to be honest with you, take that feedback. Do not be like turned off by it. Somebody that gives you feedback doesn't want to be mean. They want to help. All right. So take the feedback. In fact, Mary, thank you so much for, I just got a 15 shirt order by doing that. See, there we go. Proof is in the pudding there, right? All right. So Todd's helping me with this. We'll come back to that, because that's wonderful, Todd. And I want to spend a little time on that, but I want to finish my point here. So, it's getting out there and making that effort to connect. And, so by staying focused on my small business, what I'm doing with my business is not separate of who I am. So therefore, it should just be part of the conversation. When you're talking about the kids' soccer game, say, oh yeah, and I had to miss that one soccer game because I had this big job that I was doing, and it was a really important customer. And oh, here's a picture of that shirt. And then, my family, yeah, we went and did this deal, and here's a picture of the vacation. And what about you? What do you do as your side business, or what are the other things that are happening in your life? Those kinds of conversations about the connections that you can make outside of your circle of decorating industry here. So there's that. All right, I'm going to go back to what Todd posted, because this is very helpful. And again, feedback is important. And so Todd is helping me with my elevator pitch here. I'm Aaron. I'm a family man who wants to help business owners excel in their chosen field through hands-on education, mentorship, and training. I love it. And a volleyball nut. So yeah, we're going to add that in there, because for whatever reason, I keep coming back to that. I got to figure out how to wrap everything into the volleyball. As my son gets older, I'm pretty sure that will become more a part of my life. So, all right. Back on track here, because I need to get going here pretty soon. So that's the one thing, making connections, finding the job, like Mary said, getting that shirt order because you talked about it outside of your normal everyday business life. The other advantage of being your business is that now you're thinking about it all of the time. And you're okay with that. It's not a bad thing to be thinking about your business all the time, because of why you're thinking about your business all the time, because it's going to grow. It's going to give you an opportunity to be better, to help more, to be a bigger part of your family, to to help them succeed, to, share your experiences, all of those things. So it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you a bad spouse or parent to want to think about your business all the time. You just have to make those significant calculations as to how you do that, and to how important that particular thing that you're doing is right now. So my friend Terry also has another saying that he always talks about, is when you're thinking about your business all the time and you're seeing stuff come across your news feed, or you're reading a newspaper, or you're talking to somebody about the latest thing happening in your community, you should always be thinking, and this is what he says, can I make a shirt for that? So maybe you're not making a shirt, but can I do my business, insert my business here for that? So maybe the local news is talking about the high school volleyball championship. Well, can you make a commemorative shirt for that? Is there an opportunity for you to, get more business by connecting to that story? Or you're going through Facebook and I saw a post from Todd in the Business Basics group the other day, and he showed a picture of an oven mitt that he put his face on, and he told the backstory of the fact that his mom was complaining about not seeing him enough. So he put his picture all over this oven mitt and gave it to her as a gift. Hilarious and a perfect idea. So can you take that and turn that into a niche market that you go out there and do? I just bought some socks from Margot, who's in the Business Basic group, with my wife and kids' picture on it. Don't tell them that's a Christmas gift. And she has a cool way where you just send her a picture and she puts them all over the socks. You could do the same thing with oven mitts, and you send a couple pictures. Your customers send you a couple pictures. You lay it into a template, and now you're selling oven mitts to people that want to tell their moms to get off their back about not seeing them enough. Not in a bad way, but as a fun, joking way, like Todd did. So that's good stuff. Those are the kinds of things that you can, by being the business, if you're always thinking about those things, what can I do to better my business? And then outside of that, maybe you're reading a story about something, but then you think, well, how does that relate to my business? Or maybe you're looking at businesses outside of what you're currently doing. Maybe it's a network marketing group or something like that. So those are the advantages, and those are the things that you can do by being your business to grow and expand. All right, so let's see. Todd got another one for me here. Man, this is good stuff. I'm a volleyball nut who loves his family and helping business owners excel through hands-on education, mentorship, and training. Perfect in every way. High five, dude. Thank you. All right, so let's recap this. You guys let me know what you're doing to be your business. I'd love to hear that. I'd also love to hear how everything went over Cyber Monday, Black Friday, all of that good stuff for you. And so while you're coming up with what you guys did as promotions for the holiday and what you're going to be doing throughout the end of the year, those are some fun things I'd love to hear. The other thing, though, I want to hear is, how do you be your business? What is it that you do that you're like, yes, I own it. It's me. It's part of me. And then on the flip side of that, what things would you think, based on what we've talked about here today, what things do you think you need to change? What things could you do more of? What things could you do better? So think about those things. But let me recap real quick here what we covered here today. So take down the silos of your life, blend them together, allow each area of your life to improve the other. B, be proud of what you're doing. You're building something, you're growing something, you're giving back to your community, you're growing yourself, which in turn allows you to do more. So being profitable, getting your business going, doing those things, you should never feel bad about that. No matter what, no matter if you're just starting out, no matter if you're failing right now, the fact that you've taken the initiative to say, I'm going to be a business owner, is something that you should be proud of every moment of every day. Every little win that you have, be proud of that, celebrate that. Why you're doing your business is what's important. So share that with everybody. That's what you should be proud of, and that's what you need to blend into your entire life. The next recap there, have an elevator pitch for what you do that is comfortable and natural for normal everyday conversation. Have an opportunity like I've had here to get feedback, post it in here. We'll give you feedback. if you want to come on this program and talk about yours and have everybody talk about it, let's do that too. If you want to do it differently, whatever, reach out to me. Email's right up there. Let's help each other here. So, all right. The next point of recap here is start putting it out there more and look for connections that were maybe not there before because you had it siloed. What new potential customers or niche markets or help can you get? You know, what making those connections that are going to help your business. The last point, and then I'll have a little bonus. Always be thinking about your business and find inspiration in your everyday life. Can you insert your product here based on something you are a part of in your life? You know, so again, for me, it's volleyball. Is there anything I can do with maybe the volleyball club owners or something like that, where if I'm all about education and helping business owners excel through hands-on education and mentorship and training, then how can I make those connection there? There we go. And Todd says, when you're doing the elevator pitch, sometimes what's written down just doesn't sound right when spoken. So say it out loud. And I'm a perfect example of that. I wrote that down. It all sounded great on paper. And as soon as I started even thinking about saying it out loud in my head, I started going, well, nope, got to change it. Got to fix it. And Mary says, there are no failures, only lessons. So there you go. That is 100% true. No failures, only lessons, only growing. My son was doing something last night, and he was so upset with himself that he got it wrong. He didn't do it right. And I said, remember, what are failures? And he says, opportunities to grow. I'm like, and what happens when you grow? You get better. Now, he didn't really want to admit it, but he knew it in his heart that, yes, we want to fail. We want to fail forward, as they say. All right, guys, what else do we got? That's everything I had to cover here today. Thank you guys so much for your time and for your information and your feedback. Anything else before we call it a day? And I do have one other thing. Sorry. I got so into what I was talking about. There was one other piece that I wanted to put up here. All right. So right here, oursuccessgroup.com. Todd and I have a 5 Keys to Success series coming up as we build out our success group, and there'll be lots of more information coming on all of that as we get to it. But that's where we wanted to start. We felt like the 5 keys is the place to be. So if you go to oursuccessgroup.com, and I'm going to see if I can put that up real quick and put it up on screen. We'll see. Nope, it's not letting me right now, so I don't want to bomb out the video here. But anyhow, if you go over there to oursuccessgroup.com and you use the code EARLY, EARLY, you can get a $25 discount on that first 5 series. And if you just want to sign up for information, to get information as that stuff grows beyond that, I haven't got the webpage fixed on that yet, but montco.kartra.com/page/OSG, which stands for Our Success Group. So go over there and check that out and get signed up there. And then one other thing I wanted to put out there, in just a moment, as soon as I get done here, I'm going to jump on my Instagram stories, and I'm going to give you a little pro tip on videos. And again, the tip is just, as you're doing the live videos, I know there was some homework from one of Todd's videos, and I've seen some amazing stuff and some really good things. But there was a couple things that I wanted to share that I thought people might be able to use. Some of the failures that I've had over the time of me doing these things, going on about 3 or 4 years now, doing live videos here, and some of the other things that I've had to get over when talking in front of a camera like this. So good stuff. And Marianne says, I can't wait for our success group. So yes, we can't wait either. It's so exciting. Todd and I find ourselves just like on these 1-hour, 2-hour, 3-hour calls, just kind of everything going. And it's a ton of fun, and we're really excited to be able to do that. So, but then again, one last reminder. So my Instagram is AaronM_STL, and I will have it on my story here in about 15 minutes. A little quick live video pro tip for you. All right. So there we go. That's Small Business Saturdays today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and look forward to talking to you again next week. I will be even fuller into zombie mode. So if I'm less coherent than I am today, I apologize in advance, but hey, that's what we do. We keep going, we hustle, we get after it. All right. You guys go have a rocking week and get lots of sales and start planning for 2020 too. Okay. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.